Hello, YouTube. So it's been several months since I've made any sort of video for my channel, anything for you guys to watch. And I've had a reason for it. There's some big changes coming in my life. And I really wanted to finalize things and know that these changes were happening for sure before I updated you guys. So I'm out here on my farm, and I'm spending a little time looking at all my plants, looking at everything that I have spent the last several years caring for, looking at them for probably the last time for at least a year, probably more, because the big change in my life is I'm about to go back to the U.S. Me, the perpetual expat living in Ecuador. You know, I've been based out of the U.S. for 14 years now, and I'm about to go right back into it. I'm about to return to the belly of the beast because money calls. I need money. I need money to pay for my family's life. I need money, especially right now, to pay for university for my kids. My oldest is about ready. Next year, he's going to be probably going to university, and I got to pay for it. And I kind of would prefer that my kids go to school in the U.S. rather than Ecuador. Ecuador is a wonderful place, but not on the list of positives about Ecuador is the educational system. And if my kids go to school in the U.S., graduate from high school and eventually a university from the U.S., they'll have the same type of opportunities I've had in my life. Whereas if they graduate from a university in Ecuador, they're going to be very limited in what they can do in their lives. So I'm getting ready to fly back to the U.S. and start a pretty exciting job. I wouldn't leave the farm here and this peaceful lifestyle for any job. I am getting ready to go work in the solar industry. So I'm an electrician. Those of you that have been following the channel know this. I've been doing some of the most extreme and demanding electrical jobs around the world for the past over a decade, going to places like Afghanistan and Antarctica and Greenland and all over the world. And I'm taking that background, that skill, that history, and getting into the solar industry a little outside of my experience and my knowledge. I'm going to go become a commissioning expert for utility scale solar inverters. So I had a couple of really good job offers. One of them was to go work for Tesla and be their electrical lockout tagout expert. Go around their gigafactory in Austin, and whenever somebody needs power shut off, I'm the guy that goes out there, turns it off, tests, makes sure it's off, follows all those procedures. And that kind of sounded like a decent job. But right at the same time as I got that job offer, I got this offer to go work in all over the U.S., basically traveling from 1 week to the next or 1 month to the next to solar farms, commissioning solar inverters, basically going and taking this utility scale, these huge solar inverters, and before I turn them on, testing them, making sure they're not wired wrong, they're not going to blow up in my face. And after I test everything and make sure there's not going to be a catastrophic failure, turning them on, and then going through their software and electrical components and making sure not only are they not going to blow my face off, but they're also going to work correctly. So that's the work I'm about to go do, and I'm about to go do that for, man, guys, I'm about to go make pretty good money. I'll be not making, I'll make more, but I'll be keeping, after paying taxes and the various little costs I have living in the US, I'll be keeping more money than I did working as an overseas contractor. So one of the jobs I interviewed was to go back. One of the jobs I interviewed for was to go back to the sandbox, was to go to Baghdad, go work on a facility in Iraq, and that paid about $100,000 a year, which these days, that's not a lot of money. Paid about $100,000 a year. It's cool because, you know, I'm not going to be paying for an apartment. I'm not going to be paying for my food. My first $100,000 more or less in the US is tax-free because I have the overseas earned income exemption, and I wouldn't be paying taxes to Iraq either because of the log cap program. But I've got this job offer to go make $150,000 in the US, and my housing will be paid for. I'm gonna stay in Airbnbs and hotels for the foreseeable future, right? Company pays for it. As long as I'm working with them and I'm traveling, they give me a credit card to pay for my food. So at the end of the day, I can make more, I can keep more, I can put more in the bank working this job in the US than I can doing overseas contracting. And I always look at how much do I keep, not how much do I make, not what is the pay per hour. That's useless. How much do I keep? How much do I put in the bank? And this is the best job opportunity that I've ever come across, right? So it is a very in-demand industry. There's a lot of growth. There is a very high likelihood that I will grow with this company, and I won't be back here on my beautiful little farm for maybe a year, more likely longer. So that's what's happening. That's my update. That's what's going on in my world. My next few videos are probably going to be about the reverse culture shock of moving back to the US, living overseas for several years, and then going back to the belly of the beast.